Hello and welcome everybody to the second episode of Sibling Screen Time Podcast.
We actually have a name this time.
Yep.
We decided on it literally as we were posting the first episode. So I'm one of your hosts, Kay.
And my name is D.
And we will be talking about the 7th episode of School Spirits from season 2, as well as some other things because we like to go on our tangents.
Yeah, we're like following on from discussion that we had in the last episode where we're kind of talking about the series as a whole, and I think now that episode 7 has released, we can sort of discuss a bit further, talk about where this is going, our thoughts, and
Yeah. I guess we can start where the episode starts. Where does the episode start?
It was the cabin.
Oh, yes.
Where Maddie had disappeared with Anderson.
Yes. Okay. I saw a lot of messages on Reddit that basically said that some people really liked how they were humanizing Janet and other people really hated it.
Yeah, I think the Janet storyline, I think it really like developed into I think there was a whole conversation about the pendulum swinging back for Janet's character, and a lot of people were like, yeah, it's good to, I mean, like, they're feeling sorry for Janet.
Yeah.
And maybe even the idea of that she's a victim. And I think in this scene, in the very first scene, something very crucial that Mr. Martin says, which is he says, "You owe me."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was crazy. Well, yeah, and I mean, we later find out in the episode that it's because she started the fire or whatnot.
Yeah, she started the fire, or at least she's led to believe that she started the fire.
Yes, because that's a theory.
It is a theory out there that that Mr. Martin sort of manipulated her to think that she started the fire, but in actuality, it was him. Like, he set it up so that it would catch fire, given he's a chemistry teacher, and when she lit it, it just goes kaboom and then started the fire.
Yeah. We still don't have a lot of information on the fire, actually. We don't know a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was really brief.
But I think that's for a reason.
Yeah, I think there's two things at play. I think there's the first one is they want to like sort of make us think if she's trustworthy still. There's an interesting thing to discuss there, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I think it's more like, is she being honest with the spirits of the school now that she's back?
Yeah.
The other one is her belief that she's the one who actually did it. So
yes. And that also goes in with, the biggest reveal this episode was that Mr. Martin is her scar. No, is her key, sorry.
Is
her key. And that is very...
Yeah, I think there was a very interesting thing that someone on Reddit sort of brought up, was the idea that, and it doesn't necessarily hold for a lot, so I wouldn't say it's a theory that holds a lot of water, but it's very interesting, and it's the idea that your key is your killer.
Wow.
And it holds some weight in some characters, but it doesn't for others. For example, people who it works for, I'd argue, would be Rhonda, because her selection certificate did end up killing her because she wanted to go show
Wally
off.
with the football
because that led him, that because he was playing football.
What was Charlie's? The letter. So Charlie's one of those characters where it doesn't necessarily work. Who's the band girl? Quinn.
Yeah, and Quinn, it was the sticker, like the patch for her band uniform. So I think that also, technically, you could argue, is a reason why she died, because she joined band.
Yeah, I guess so.
And another character who it doesn't necessarily work for is Mr. Martin. The watch isn't necessarily what killed him, unless you want to get real technical and creative.
But I do think it's one of those things where it's like, because now that we know that it wasn't Janet's scar, right, and we're going into Mr. Martin's, that sort of shifts the perspective quite differently, in that all of the things about winning the Nobel Prize and all of the accomplishments, the lab coats, whatever, and we have that half burnt girl. I think that is Janet.
That is Janet, because I saw a picture. It was on
behind the scenes, right?
I get all the my stuff from Reddit, but it was from a behind the scenes photo, and it was definitely Janet.
Yeah, the actress.
With half of her body sort of charred.
Yeah. And then, but the thing is, we don't know who the second girl was, because that's not Janet.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're kind of going through. I mean, well, let's be honest. This story didn't really have a lot in the middle, except for fan service.
We need to talk about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a lot to add, but I think the creators know their audience.
No, I just think it was like hilarious. I mean, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a flashback.
I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, geez. No, but like, I just thought it was like such a funny contrast when that was happening with the ghosts, and the kids are quite literally
being hunted by Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, sorry, just quick praise for the guy that plays Mr. Anderson. Phenomenal actor.
He can switch it up real
he's
quick.
He's so good.
His characterizations change very quickly, and he can portray that Mr. Martin character really well. It's cold, calculated. Like the way he does that persona is really good.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I mean, him coming out like covered in mud with the blood on his head, I was like, yeah, it looks sick.
Yeah, it was very good. But yeah, I think back to the idea. Sorry, what were we talking about again? Before the fan service. Oh yes. Yeah, the Scar. Who's that woman? Well, I'm pretty sure it is Mr. Martin's fiance.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It has to be, because
there's no other.
Yeah, and with the confirmation at the end of the episode, that. Oh, we should probably also preface this. This contains spoilers.
So, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we forgot to say that.
We forgot to mention this is very spoiler heavy. Yep.
Anyway, when it's revealed that it is Mr. Martin's Scar, I think it's pretty much confirmed that has to be Mr. Martin's fiance. The fact that she felt that she was robbed.
No. That was what Janet said. She said we need more time.
Oh, we need more time. Sorry. Yes, she did say that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Mr. Martin's fiance.
But funny though, because she says that in Mr. Martin's Scar, like you see this woman and she says we need more time, and then on the boat, Mr. Martin says to Janet, we need more time. I don't know what.
Yeah, maybe there's different parallels, but I think
I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if that is quite literally what is written to be one of the things. Another thing too is like we've been seeing so many different articles say that there's 10 episodes and then there's 8 episodes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the next episode is going to be season finale, despite 2 websites out of the many saying there's 10.
Yeah, and the Reddit says there's 8. I'm just like so confused because
look, I mean, unless they pull it under us and then it is actually 10 episodes, I wouldn't know. But I think you said it was IMDb and another website
said it was 10
episodes. If it is 10 episodes, I can see this show ending potentially. Yeah, that gives us about 3 more episodes of breathing room. If it's not, then I mean, right now it feels like there's going to be season 3. Yeah,
no matter what.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be season 3, especially if it is the 8 episodes and next one's the season finale. And obviously they dropped that. I mean, I suppose they didn't really confirm where Mr. Martin in Addison's body was going, but I'm assuming it's. Actually, we have no idea. He could either be running away or he could be going to the school.
Okay, what are you going to guess? I mean, it's 50-50, so I think I'm going to guess he's going to run away.
I think he's running away.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's an interesting plot for them to explore in season 3 and how to track him down and convince him to come back. Yeah, and the way that they sort of paint Mr. Martin's character as a rather selfish person, I think is very interesting because... he is.
Yeah, and also that scene where like I think that it was the Christmas scene where they're going to get the cookies and whatnot, and Janet's talking about her theory, which we'll touch on later, but she gets really excited about it and she's like, oh, like
yeah, it feels like she's a student and she wants to explore
and she wants to share her findings with these people. She literally said they're like our family, we live together.
Yeah, like she's like excited in the sense that it feels like she's making scientific progress, perhaps something that she wanted to do when she was alive. Not perhaps. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sort of, and like, I think she seeks a lot of validation from people who she views as academically more inclined than her.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's more in line with her relationship with men. I think that was a big thing
for
that
sure.
we didn't.
For sure. I mean, her dad's like the Reverend.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
And like she didn't really have positive interactions with men, or at least in the form of his dad. And it was sort of confirmed when she said that she was haunted by her father.
So that was apparently...
So, conflicted. There's some reports on Reddit of people saying that they were 100% certain they heard her say it.
Yeah.
And there are some reports of people saying, and it was just the subtitles for some people. Now, when we watched it was just the subtitles. There was no audio.
Yes.
Which, did they mess it up? Was it like two versions and then they wanted to create that suspense of trust, so they took that out, but they forgot to take out the subtitle?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
I think it was something like that.
Where they edited the actual episode in film, and then they forgot to take out the captions, and the captions basically said that she was haunted by her father.
Exactly, yeah. And I think if that's the case, I think, first of all, I think they got rid of it to keep the suspense of whether she's trustworthy.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's there means that she is trustworthy.
For sure. I mean, even if she wasn't, and like she pulls one on us, I think it won't be a surprise for me.
Yeah, but the thing is, she doesn't.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
She's ultimately incredibly isolated because now her previous partner has become a bit of a rogue unit.
Yeah.
Running away.
He's quite literally unpredictable. We don't know what he's going to do. But another thing too is Mr. Anderson, he's, at least him, like the character Mr. Anderson, what happened to him? Like, did he go to, what was his thing?
What do you mean?
Did he get arrested or something? No, when he, what did they say? Because of the money that he stole. Or like, sorry, not had.
Oh, no. He was about to go on...
Plea deal.
Yeah, his plea deal went through. I'm pretty sure because it was like a minor crime.
Right.
Considered. So, yeah, I think he was like on the hook for the law, the law. Mm-hmm. And now with everything that's happening, he's going to be in bigger trouble because he's like stolen a car and he's driving away. But yeah, it's Mr. Martin. And yeah.
I had a thought though. I was thinking, you know, Mr. Anderson, the actual character, as Ghost, is literally just playing golf in the libraries and having the time of his life.
Yeah, it's really strange depiction of him as a ghost because he shows little to no concern about what's happening.
I can see why though. He had such a hard life in the human world.
Yeah,
I can see why.
Yeah, I think
he doesn't have a care in the world. He's, he doesn't have responsibilities. He doesn't have to take care of his father. Like, it's very much I'm free of my responsibilities. I'm good to go. And honestly, I think if it came down to it, like if he had to choose between coming back or staying, I think he might stay.
I think he might actually stay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, he lost his job.
Mm-hmm.
He is in trouble with the law.
Mm-hmm.
He has to pay back insane amounts of debt.
His dad is in trouble.
And I think the show didn't show that he really doesn't care. Like,
nope.
He was just playing golf in the school and just. Honestly, he was living it up.
Yeah, which makes sense for him.
It does make sense.
It does. And I think it doesn't, he doesn't have a care for him per se, but he definitely does care for Maddie in that whole advice scene, where he says the only way out is through.
Yeah.
And like that piece of advice is kind of what leads her to see the whole thing with Dawn. We also got Dawn in this episode.
Yeah, we got Dawn back.
Yeah.
I think it's very cool that, the whole scene with the fact that Dawn was the one who first came up with the idea of energies in the scars, and then Janet built on that idea. I think, very interesting way to depict that character, and maybe a reasoning as to why she crossed first, because she had a deeper understanding of how the scars worked.
Yeah. Also, I mean, just I feel like on symbolically, she got electrocuted.
Yeah, I think
that's how she died.
Yeah, and maybe a part of her character is the fact that her observant nature allowed her to critically observe what's happening with the scars and stuff.
Yeah,
in the way that Janet and Mr. Martin wanted, but they couldn't because perhaps they weren't open to all aspects of thinking.
Yeah.
But
I also think because Dawn was often seen as like an outcast. She wasn't quite accepted in the support group or the control group, which was a hard line by Charlie.
Bracket cooked, yeah.
He cooked with that one.
When he said that,
and like, that's what I mean. It's like, I don't think she was seen as part of the group per se.
Yeah, I think, when I think her depiction is very different to the other characters, and I think that difference really highlights her. Perhaps, I don't even know how to word it.
She's quite a recluse, like.
Yeah, she's a recluse, but that made her observant.
Things that other people don't see.
And maybe even the time period, she's kind of given as an aloof sort of.
The 70s.
The 70s, open to all the ideas, kind of person. And maybe that's the reason why she noticed this different facets within the scars and was able to cross over.
Mm-hmm.
Though, another thing that I want to really talk about in today's episode was there's an implication in episode 7 of the hospital and even the school being like this, almost like a jail, a holding cell, right?
Yeah.
But the experience in the school was obviously a lot better because there's not a lot of people.
Right.
But how about the hospital?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a fresh hell if you think about it.
That's actually so scary.
Because the school is not only big, like the grounds are big.
Yeah.
And there's few people, so
Plus there's like stuff to do.
There's stuff to do, there's things to see.
Yeah.
And like, now imagine the hospital. Like, imagine how that is. Like, if the people in school are having this much trouble, and then if you now think about the people in the hospital, then imagine the amount of trouble and because just because they're ghosts doesn't mean they don't have personal issues.
And if anything, we've learned that from the kids.
Cares and affections, as you noted in episode 7. So imagine that, but in the hospital.
Yeah, that's insane.
That it's like almost impossible to think about. And this would have no relevance if it wasn't for that scene with Xavier.
Yeah. Because
we know that Maddie's dad is there.
Is there.
And now that Maddie has an inkling of how to move on and what to do, it really questions what she's going to do moving forward.
Yeah.
Because she's going to want to help her dad.
And another thing too is like, this brings on, I mean, this is a great segue into the next part where we talk about Simon and his relationship with Maddie and that whole fight that they had, where he asks her, are you staying for Wally? Like, is that what's going on? And honestly, I know this is like, I get both sides of the argument, I really do, but I am team Simon on this. If I had put my like time, my life, everything on the line to help my best friend come back to her body, and she's waving because of her ghost boyfriend, respectfully, I need you to rein it in. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that actually I would crash out. Like, I'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that would suck, especially because like the stakes for humans who are alive is much higher because they only live for a short amount of time.
And I also think I get Simon not being able to physically see the ghosts the way he sees Maddie, so he can't I guess get wholly into the idea of like, oh, I need to help them as well. But I mean, from his perspective, he can't see them, first of all. Second, your best friend, who strangely you have this connection with, it almost feels like a I don't know, like a religious like experience to be able to see your best friend, to be able to help them either, to get their body back. And like for him for her to be like, yeah, like, like I have a boyfriend, like, girl, get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. That was really a like crazy story arc and implication.
I mean, we knew it was going to happen. And I do feel really, really bad for the ghosts, right? And that's why I think Maddie's going to choose to help the ghost before she leaves herself.
Yeah. And now with the whole thing that Miss J. Martin has run away, she isn't going to be able to at least swap back until that's done. So...
Well, I mean, no, but she can, though.
But they're going to need the scar to change bodies.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Janet can give Maddie her body back. Maddie can live her life while going to school, helping the ghosts cross. Yeah,
but that's the whole point of episode 7, because they can't do the body swap without Mr. Martin.
Why?
because the scar thins the veil, like that's what they said, like it
Wait, what?
Yeah, how did you not pick this up?
Wait, what do you mean?
It's the fact that it's because she was in the scar that Maddie was able to see Janet that time, and she was able to come into her body because of the thinning of the veil as caused by her staying in the scar. So very similar to how Mr. Martin was seen by the janitor.
Yeah. So, Mr. South.
Yeah, Mr. South.
That's his name.
But yeah, I think that's what they said. Like, they need Mr. Martin for the body swap to happen. So implications moving forward, this would mean that Janet would effectively become a part of the gang.
True.
And she's going to have to pretend to be Maddie while they figure this out. And,
yeah, I guess so. Yep, yeah.
Yeah, and effectively, this actually checks two boxes, because not only does this satiate Janet's wants and desires to be a studious academic woman, which she wasn't allowed to be back in the 50s, and it allows Maddie more time in the Split River High afterlife to help the ghosts move on. And I think, like, if she doesn't do that, the story would be kind of bland and not right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other option. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, waiting for Mr. Anderson. But the thing is, it's even as Janet, Maddie as Janet. Wait, Janet as Maddie. They still have to get Mr. Martin to the school anyway. So it's like,
yeah, I think that's what season 3 is going to be.
Yeah, probably. It's going to be like a
in
goose
the same
chase.
way season 2 was.
Thing is, would they be in uni then? Because they're supposed to be graduating?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. How would that work? Do they just go back to that high school?
That's kind of weird.
That is weird.
And the fact that Simon's going to get suspended.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my god, imagine you're getting suspended and your dead friend's ghost is like, hey, like, I know that you worked so hard to get my body here, but...
I think Simon... I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think it's going to be Janet in Maddie's body, Simon, and the other members of the group hunting down Mr. Martin. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Martin in Anderson's body.
Yeah.
While Maddie and the rest of the ghosts figure out how to...
So you don't think Rhonda's going to cross?
I really wish, because if she does cross, we get good stakes.
Right.
Like, it's a good stake. Like, there was a non-zero amount. Actually, it was way more than non-zero. What am I saying? It was a large-ass section about Rhonda and her accepting her death. And
also, her relationship with Quinn is like that friendship, the friendship she had with Marjorie, how that broke off.
Yeah.
And then...
So there's interesting parallels.
There really is.
So...
They're both musicians.
Yeah, they are. And so, I really, really, really hope that she
does cross over. Yeah.
And yes, that would mean we have one less character member going forward. But I think if Rhonda does move on, I think Janet is there to take her place, sort of.
Yeah,
because
actually.
Previously we didn't have Janet, and now we're going to have Janet as an ally. I think that's what this episode really did.
Probably. And even season 2 has really shown us Janet's backstory.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
We know more about Janet's backstory than we do about Simon's.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about Simon.
Yeah.
Simon's my favorite character, and I will vouch for him. Yeah. But, like, one of the things is, like, we don't know anything about him. We know that he's, like, Filipino, I believe, and also that the fact that he grew up in a Catholic church. That's it. Like, he grew up going to church.
Catholic, at least Nicole.
That's it. And, like, we know that we've seen Nicole's house. We haven't seen Simon's. Do you know what I mean? We know that Nicole has a brother. And I feel like Simon, like, he's one of the best actors on this show. The guy that plays him. But he doesn't
have much in the way of story.
No, he doesn't have a backstory. We haven't learnt too much about him, which I think they definitely need to focus on, because I really, I want to see that.
Yeah, I think... I really hope the stakes of season 2 seeing Rhonda crossover.
Yeah.
And that sort of, in a way, acts to, like, solidify the work that Maddie has done in her very short amount of time that she's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's really hard as a viewer to sort of contextualize the amount of time that they have.
I mean, for us, it's been like, what, 2 years?
2 years, but... Wait, 2 years.
Between seasons.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in story time. So...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, if you think about it, like, Rhonda's been there for 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And 60 years in comparison to the short 3 to 4 months...
Yeah, that's a long ass time.
Of that Maddie's been there for. I think it's 2 months, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's such a small amount of time, and in that time, if we see both Dawn and Rhonda cross over,
yeah,
I think that has significant implications for Janet and her theories.
For sure.
Because they did something that, well, Maddie allowed the ghosts in Split River Afterlife to move on.
Yeah.
In 2 months, then what they were able to accomplish in well, more than 60 years.
I mean, though I do think though that like Mr. Martin and Janet at least led them astray, so they weren't really trying to cross over in the first place.
Maybe Mr. Martin, because I think Martin
Janet was obviously
is a very selfish
mm-hmm.
character. Mm-hmm. Almost really parallels Rhonda's mentor who choked him out.
Okay. You need to think
choked her out.
It's strangled. You need to find a better way to say that. No, but I heard a lot of theories that Mr. Martin possessed Manfredo's body to kill Rhonda.
That theory is not right.
Yeah?
Because they literally show you the scene where Mr. Martin and Janet are working in the lab the moment... True.
That happens.
The moment Rhonda dies.
Yeah. That's true. I guess, yeah.
So I don't think that theory holds.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, but I mean, but there is definitely parallels. What's crazy is there's a lot of student-teacher relationships in the show, which is very refreshing, actually.
Yeah, I think because
you have the positive with Anderson and Maddie, but then you also have the very, very negative.
Well, yeah, but the depiction of Mr. Martin in the earlier parts of season 1 was really good. I mean, he was sort of like a teacher who was advocating for
Janet, yeah.
For Janet.
Yeah, and I think it was almost shot in a way for us to root for him, to be like, oh, like no, he's
he's a good person, mm-hmm. and then sort of
derail that a bit.
Yeah, like spin it on its head mm-hmm. and show that no, he's actually a rather selfish mm-hmm. individual.
Yeah. What do you think about Janet fascinated him? Like, what do you think? Do you think there was a bit of like inappropriateness there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think that's it. And I had that opinion before, but we have to notice that roughly 10 years elapsed with just Mr. Martin and Janet. And all they did was like...
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
They didn't necessarily try to figure out... I suppose they discovered the scars and they were sort of figuring... It was still very much understanding...
No, didn't they? Oh, yeah.
It was still very much understanding what they were doing and mm-hmm. where they were at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming because they were the first people to die in Split River High.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, like canonically, I guess.
There's like so many I mean, the writing of the show is incredible because Split River and then also...
okay, I wouldn't say it's incredible, but it's pretty good.
No, it's incredible. Like, it's... yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's, I mean, like, from what you've seen, okay?
Yeah.
Of TV shows that are aimed at young adults / this is great.
For the record, she called me Aya, which means older brother.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
In local language.
Yes. Yeah. Based on what you've seen of shows.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a class above, but I wouldn't say it's exceptional.
Okay, I'm not saying it's like, like Christopher Nolan.
No, I'm saying incredible is like Stranger Things season 1.
Okay, fine. Then, yeah, it's great. Like, it's
above
like...
average.
It's great.
It's well above average.
Yeah, it's well above average. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
Based on like
I'm
what
not shitting on School Spirit.
No.
Don't get me wrong. I watched this show and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Look, there are some cringy moments for sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't...
I think, like so many series, man, I think season 1 was a gem. Season 2 is an exploration of those ideas
Yeah.
and building on it, but those little things that made season 1 special is just not there in season 2. I think we discussed it last episode.
Yeah,
with
like
the
film techniques.
with the cinematography. It's there, but nowhere near to the same extent. Like season 1 was almost dream-like. Like
yeah, you
like losing your best friend and how they portrayed what happened next in those historical shots, it almost looked like you were in hysteria.
Yeah.
Like you were like if I was to lose someone I care about dearly, and like that sort of collusion of reality and sort of you don't know what's happening and you're just floating through. They depicted that so perfectly using film, using music, using those really artistic lenses that take the viewer, that like take the light in different ways, the bokeh and all that. It felt like they used all the filmmaking tools to express that, whereas season 2 doesn't quite have that. They do it. I think season 2, I saw a incredible of effort in lighting and color. I think you see even in episode 7, you saw that scene where Rhonda and I keep forgetting the band girl's name. Quinn, like where they sort of like express their like bond and friendship.
Yeah.
There was like these really beautiful lights in the mist in nighttime.
Yeah.
So it's there, but it's that those little perfection, those little details that sort of perfect season 1.
I definitely agree with that. I do think though, however, back to the writing aspect of it, you have so many of these young adult shows that I feel like, I mean, again, like I feel like a similar, I don't know if this is even similar, but like Wednesday, for example, it's very high production. You know, Tim Burton.
Wednesday doesn't have shit on this.
Yeah.
Wednesday is actually...
But it's also like a cozy mystery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're kind of following it around, you're figuring shit out. And it's like, I definitely do understand the appeal. And again, acting and all that stuff was incredible in that show. But like, it doesn't have the same feelings. It doesn't have the same vibes because you don't feel as... this feels more homey.
Yeah, so I think let's go back to what I said earlier. What made Stranger Things season 1? Again, we will do a whole episode on this.
Yeah.
I think Stranger Things season 1 and School Spirit season 1 share more than you think in common. Because the actors, relatively unknown.
Yeah, true.
All things considered. Like even Millie Bobby Brown wasn't that well known in season 1.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't known at all.
Yeah, in season 1.
The only known actor from that season was Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
And again, her career was on the downturn as well.
Yeah.
She was like huge in the 80s.
Yeah. And you saw that magic in season 1 of School Spirits. At least I felt it.
Yeah, for sure.
And they decided to sort of take it in their stride and use these amazing film techniques. I hope it comes back in season 3. And I think it might, because often the third season is when the budget gets increased because you have an increased fan base and you've proven your concept. So
yeah, I just think personally, season 2, again, it's a continuation, right? And it's still an incredible season of TV.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Stranger Things season 1 to Stranger Things season 2. They're both great seasons. Just the season 2 falls a little behind
to season 1. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it will be. You'll never forget the first time you watch something, you know?
Yeah.
And I think also with this season so far is like, there's so many introductions of new characters that it's hard to keep up with the main. Like, again, Simon is a great example of this. I feel like he has not gotten the development that he deserves because that's all been going to Claire, for example, where you know about her backstory, you know her relationship with her mum. I don't even know if Simon has parents. Like... Yeah,
we don't see Simon's home life, I
No,
guess.
We don't even see how Simon and Maddie became friends. Like, that's like a huge thing. But we do with Claire and Maddie.
Yeah, if I actually think about it, we know
about Xavier's dad.
We know about Xavier's home life. We know about Claire and Nicole's.
We don't know anything about Simon.
We don't know anything about Simon. I think, there's a lot of space to explore that it won't be in this season. It'll be next season.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know. I guess my guess is for going into episode 8 is the inauguration of Janet as one of the group. The realization that Maddie's not going to be able to switch bodies.
Yeah.
At least for the foreseeable future. And sort of Maddie coming back to school. Well, I suppose Janet in the body of Maddie coming back to school.
Living as Maddie.
Learning her life through Maddie, because now she can talk to her. And sort of, killing two birds with one stone, essentially, allowing her to live that dream of being a successful academic woman, while also allowing Maddie time to
figure shit out in
the spirit world.
I think Janet would also help with that though, because she's quite literally the
now
scientist.
You have all the data and experience that Janet has of literally being there for 70 years.
Yeah.
I think those about conclude everything that I feel about episode 7.
Yeah, I mean, bro, Xavier's always getting tied up in bees.
Yeah, I mean, bro, can't catch a break.
He really can't. But I do have to say, he has grown on me so much. I will ride or die for him. He's just like, I feel like it's one of those characters that like Steve. I feel like he's a Steve of School Spirits.
He's giving Steve energy, yeah.
Like Steve Harrington. Like he's definitely grown on me, and like, even with this sort of season as well. Oh, another thing about the style of this show, right? I feel like you can take separate frames from both season 1 and season 2 and still know that it's from this show. Like the boat scene where where Janet and Mr. Martin are in the boat. The lighting and the way that the water looked. I think it's so stylized.
Yeah, the visual identity is the same.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's amazing.
But the method in which they've shot season 2 is significantly... The mindset that they shot season 2 is different to the mindset of shooting season 1.
I think it's definitely because they have different sets this time around.
I think season 1 is more creative. Season 2 is more functional. Because they just want to get the story out. And I think that's what they're doing. And when trying to get the story out, there's just less space to be creative.
Yeah,
but I feel like a good team can marry both of those together.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not saying that School Spirit is a bad team.
No,
I'm saying that they're learning the ropes. And
for sure.
I think they will... I hope, at least, that they will come swinging for season 3 with what made season 1 so beautiful and memorable.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, it's the cameras and the lighting and everything. It's just like... I feel like, especially with the way that it looks like it's going to be ending. I mean, from what we know, what the cast have said, with it being like, imagine the worst thing possible, it's worse than that. Like, I feel like Mr. Anderson, we're not going to see him again for the rest of the season.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, and I feel like, Janet's just gonna... I mean, I don't even know what do you think the ending scene will be? Because last season I
have guesses. Obviously, everything I outlined earlier about Janet joining the team, yada yada. But there might be, in the cliffhanger, might be something crazy that Mr. Anderson is doing.
Maybe.
In like Mr. Martin doing in Mr. Anderson's body.
At a different school.
Maybe at a different school, or maybe he's gone back home to his family, or whatever remains of his family. God, what would be... If your parents were in 1970, and then...
If Janet was in school...
Sorry, not 1970,
in
1950. Like, if your wife would be like... You'd be lucky if she's alive.
Yeah.
Because they were adults in 1950, which means they were probably born in the 30s.
Something like that.
Yeah. So there's not much of a family left.
Yeah, I think she would have died, surely.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, like, even if... Like, Mr. Martin is older than Janet. And Janet's colleague is now in elder home. So there's no way Mr. Martin's wife is still alive.
Right.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. Wait, so does this imply that technically Mr. Martin's scar is the watch, Janet's scar is Mr. Martin, and then Maddie's scar is Janet? Key, sorry.
I don't think the body swap people have keys.
You don't think so?
Nope. Because they didn't die.
Right, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't think they have keys or scars.
But then, don't you need the key to cross into the body?
No, the person who crossed into your body needs their key to activate their scar, which allows the veil to open. Okay. And for you to cross into their
that's
body.
Wild. So when Mr. South saw Mr. Martin just chilling, and he got freaked out and he ran away.
Yeah.
A lot of people have theorized, like, I mean, the thing with like Split River, also the river Styx, like that whole parallel, and also Mr. South being like
the ferryman.
Yeah. or like, you know, the devil, or something, like south.
Well, I
like,
don't
come
know.
on, hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff for that. Yeah, the concept of the ferryman I think is very interesting, but because the whole thing about the ferryman is you got to give them some form of payment, and I think in theology, correct me if I'm wrong, I think a body, when it gets put into the river Styx, has to have 2 coins placed over its eyes as payment for the riverman to carry them onto Elysium.
Damn.
So I think that's it's a Greek theology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm remembering Percy Jackson.
Yeah, Greek mythos.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Percy Jackson. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so what is the payment? We don't know. I think
it could literally be the key. Their key.
Or it could be sort of...
Because where's Dawn's light bulb?
Yeah, we don't really have conclusive evidence of what Dawn exactly did.
Yeah.
But we did get that reveal that imagine you're in a field of flowers, marigolds. And for her it's marigold. Which is interesting because...
I mean, that's the Day of the Dead and everything, right? The marigolds are used.
But now there's a whole new meaning to it because Dawn says that she just thought of a field of flowers and marigolds. That's what she does when she feels anxiety or threatened. When she's about to do something that she doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but Dawn also said, I mean, when Janet was like, "Were you scared?" And she was like, "I guess so," but like she still went in, and like maybe you have to be not scared. I mean, scared, but like, I guess indifferent, maybe.
Yeah. Again, and it's really hard to theorize because, as outlined, as I saw and read on Reddit, and also noticed after watching season 1 and season 2, there's a lot of seasonal inconsistencies. So, in season 1, we are led to believe that it is the act of Maddie saying that she's a good friend that allowed her to cross over, because that was like kind of thing that was trifling her ability. Yeah. Whereas season 2, I feel like we got a lot of those opportunities with Rhonda where, like, it was like, it felt like, oh my god, like she overcame that. And even Charlie. Because
Charlie less so than Rhonda.
Yeah, but even Charlie in this episode, like he expressed this new relationship and he's kind of dove in head first, which is kind of his fear after Milo and all that.
Yeah.
So, Emilio, not Milo.
Milo's the actor that plays Wally.
Oh, sorry, Emilio.
Yeah.
Similar names. I hate names.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, is it that? Is it not? And now they're saying the only way forward is through.
Yeah, so I'm like so confused.
I'm so confused as well, like, as to the science of crossing over.
Same, but we now know that it's like energy focused. So like, I guess for Dawn, I mean, she quite literally had that scene where Maddie was like, "You're a really good friend," to her. She smiles, and then we see electricity flashing. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's so much to go over with Mr. South. I mean, imagine being a school janitor and you walk into the room, you see the lights flashing like it's fucking like,
and then you see the old school teacher sitting there.
Oh no, but I mean,
it'll creep me out.
See, like I would think, oh my god, like I'm in Stranger Things, like the Demogorgon's about to pop out.
Because like if I was in my old school and I was walking around the gymnasium,
and,
yuck, the locker room or some shit, and then I see like a fucking dead teacher, I'm gonna be so scared.
Yeah. No, no. And what would unsettle me is he's sitting there on a chair with his leg on his other leg, with a notebook and a pen.
With a notebook and a pen, yeah.
Just writing stuff down. That would freak me out than just seeing a ghost staring at me.
Yeah. That's kind of scary. I mean, yeah.
Because what does that entail? He's just like living his life. Yeah, oh my god, no.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, that is terrifying. But I mean, I feel like with Mr. South, I mean, in season 1, he said, "You'll never find something out there because there's scars everywhere to the school." I mean, those were his words. So it's like, does he know? How much does he know?
Yeah.
Or whether he's quite literally seeing ghosts everywhere that he, I guess he was able to.
Yeah, maybe he was able to see ghosts everywhere. I don't know, but I think he only saw Mr. Martin.
Yeah, wait, you know when Rhonda found Mr. Martin's watch by the bus stop?
Yeah.
Is that because Mr. Martin could obviously go to the bus stop because someone had died there, right? And then Mr. Anderson was probably walking out. It's because he had his key, he could go into his body?
Yeah, I think something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how he induced that body swap to happen, but I suppose Mr. Martin knows better.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
It is.
Okay.
What if I shift gears for a second?
Okay.
We watch The Gorge.
Oh. Oh, I have a saying for this movie.
Yeah.
It's stop the wars, watch The Gorge.
Yeah.
Because tell me why this movie was International Relations 101. I mean, okay, first of all, Anya Taylor-Joy, is that her name? Or is it Anya Joy-Taylor? I always get that confused.
No idea.
She is gorgeous, amazing, and beautiful.
She's so pretty.
And she was incredible in this movie. I mean, she ate down, and so did Miles Teller. I think that's his name. That's not his name. But okay.
I know it's not Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
But
they both were really good.
Yeah. I really liked the movie. It was good, but like, I mean, it was lighthearted. I didn't really.
Yeah.
It's like a movie that wants you to take it seriously, but at the same time,
it just doesn't.
It doesn't want to take it seriously.
I just couldn't get behind. Like, it just felt like such a. I was expecting like a plot twist. I was expecting to be shook.
It's not great, but it's like a movie that you can walk away with being like, yeah, I mean, it's not a complete waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time, and I definitely think like the first part of the movie where they're like in the, what are they called?
The shelters or whatever.
Yeah, the shelters. The towers. Yeah. When they're in the towers and they're like, you know, getting to know each other, and even just the getting up to the towers and all that stuff, that was so interesting. And I was like, why do they have this? It felt like the reveal was very underwhelming.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they were working on biological weapons, and now...
And there's a nuke. Also, how did he get... I'm sorry, but how did he, first of all, survive the nuke, okay, in the water? How did he come find her? They don't know where they are at the end of the movie.
I think they were, like, meant to meet at, like, a known place. And you just have to make your way there.
Yeah, but... I guess they are really smart.
There's a pretty big plot hole because... There's a lot of again, holes. Spoilers. The whole argument is that they were doing the biological experiments in the Gorge while Robert J. Oppenheimer was working on the nuke. Mm-hmm. But how can there be a nuke in the Gorge when the nuke was being made at Los Alamos?
Because this was later, yeah.
No, I suppose, yeah, they retrofitted it.
Yeah, because remember there's a computer there, and they're like, that's not from 1942.
Yeah.
So it was later. They put it in later.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, stop the wars, watch The Gorge. I think that, yeah, honestly, like, play this movie for international relations. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Look, it was good. It was an alright movie. It was an okay movie. The concept was good. I
mean, it's quite literally the indomitable human spirit.
I guess.
If anything.
Yeah.
Because you quite literally have these warring sides put down their weapons and try to...
save each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like sort of love trump soul, which kind of makes sense. It was a Valentine's Day movie, definitely not the kind of Valentine's Day movie you thought it was.
Yeah.
But...
it was very cinematic. I love the way it was shot.
The production quality was surprisingly
incredible, yeah.
An Apple TV production.
I mean, we haven't seen much Apple TV productions.
Ted Lasso. I watched Ted Lasso.
Oh, you did? Oh, you did? Yeah.
Ted Lasso was good. It was good. It was like a turn your brain off sort of goofy fun kind of show.
Yeah. But you did say it got so insufferable at some points.
Yeah, it was. It was hard. Like, there were some points that were like hard to watch. But it's just like a consistent... It's like a sports anime. Like, it's a sports anime, but like a sports TV show.
Okay.
And like the stakes are like rising and like try to bring up the team, and it's cool. The Apple ads were a bit obnoxious at times. Like, they were using Apple iPhones and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Ted Lasso was actually surprisingly okay.
Oh my gosh, we have to talk about... I've been an avid reader for pretty much my entire life. And I've, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I remember reading since I was since I could read, I was always picking up a book and always, you know, doing what I can and trying to like get into these new worlds. And I'm usually the one to introduce, I guess, stories and TV shows to my brother. But as of recently,
Yeah, I started reading.
Someone picked up a book.
I'm not a avid reader because I suck at reading.
Mm-hmm.
But
like he would read like school books.
Yeah, the school prescribed books. That's really all I read.
Mm-hmm.
So like whatever the school told me to read, I read it.
Mm-hmm. What are you reading?
Yeah, now I'm reading The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
That's purely because I've seen the Witcher series, and like
you loved season 1.
I wouldn't say. I think love is a strong word.
Okay.
I loved episode 1. And then the rest of the season kind of went to shit. And then season 2 was also poopy. And was there a season 3? I think there was season 3, and it was also kind of bad. Man, such a show with so much fucking like promise. And like Henry Cavill, such a great actor, so passionate about it. Such a shame they lost them. And now it's cancelled, I think. But Netflix is making like the animated. Watched Sirens of the Deep. Just Little Mermaid in it.
The Little Mermaid retelling.
Yeah, but like more gory. But I think The Witcher is based on those tales because
the Beauty and the Beast one.
Yeah, there was a Beauty and the Beast like one, and there was another one about a princess who ran and left her slipper behind. And the prince was like searching for him.
Love that.
But it was really like kind of fucked up because that's usually how this does it. It's like they take those
like
stories
a twist on it,
and there's like a really messed up twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying reading The Witcher.
No, like when I tell you, like
I'm almost done with Last Wish, and I'm gonna try to read as much as I can. It's gonna get hard because university starting. But yeah, I think Last Wish so far has been really good. So if there's anybody who's listening that's read the Witcher books,
yeah,
I think it's gonna be like I've seen it in every other medium. I've seen The Witcher. I watched. I haven't played, but I watched a full walkthrough of Witcher 3.
Yeah,
and then obviously the lackluster series. But now I'm gonna read it so I can get all facets of that story.
Love, which is like I'm shocked. Truly, sometimes I like walk into his room. And he's got a book out. Hello.
Yeah, the audio. Listening to the audiobook.
See, that was my goal.
Along. Yeah, like I mean, well, I kind of did that with The Great Gatsby when I was doing the.
Yeah, but like
The Great Gatsby is still one of my favorite books.
What's that?
Weird.
Give us a second. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
And we're back. Yeah. So like, I would walk into his room and I'd just be like, "What?" Like, shocked because I've never seen you pick up a book.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not a reader.
No,
I'm not a reader.
But you know, it is what it is, and I'm glad that you're getting into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow process. Like every book I've read takes me an insanely long amount of time to read and finish because I have a tendency to just leave something and then leave it for a long time and then sort of pick it back up and then play or do something. Stop playing with my Walkman,
Sorry.
Yeah, like. Pick it back up like much later and I'm saying like months later,
yeah
and then like finish it off and then start the next thing.
Like his journal entries are like
oh my god, yeah, the journal that I've been keeping since 2016 it's probably got like 20 entries in it, honestly.
And it's like every
every 7 or 8 months or so.
And he's just like, hey, what up? And that's
it's
it.
just like a little check-in that I like keep as like a reference.
You should keep a video diary. I keep a video diary.
The thing about video diary, it's in the virtual space. There's like this thing. It's like if something's in the virtual space, you're less likely to like use it.
No, what do you mean?
Yeah, like think about it this way. How many photos we've taken on cameras that have just disappeared?
Yeah, but that's why you have to actively save them.
Yeah, I mean, I know you have to actively save them, but like we've taken so many photos that have just dissipated into the virtual abyss.
Space, I guess so.
Because like you change devices, there's no like storage isn't localized. I mean, unless you have like your own little storage server, but you lose data. Like that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, but like, you can't really. I mean, it's not the same thing. Like
it's
I feel
easier to maintain a written thing.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, like, if you have a video diary, you can like show things. You can like see yourself.
I guess that's partly why we're doing this, because let's be honest, nobody else is listening to this.
No.
Maybe like the 2-3 people
hello,
who like clicked on it. Hello, and I don't know if you made it this far.
Yeah, because we're 50 minutes in, and I'm
Yeah,
sorry
but
if
I
we were
think this
boring.
episode we talked a lot more about
School spirits.
than we did last time.
I mean, that's because last time it was like an introductory episode, and we were just kind of like getting the reins, and just trying to like get through it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot to talk about in terms of the stuff that we've already seen. I mean, because again, like we mentioned, Stranger Things is a big one, right? But when we're like, usually when we just watched movies, we didn't really think too much about it. We're just watching movies and like, spending time with each other, I guess. But it's not really necessarily something that we thought we would talk about. So the fact that, we have this now, and whether somebody listens or not, we'll just have a fun time.
Yeah.
Discussing something we've seen.
Yeah, I think I think it's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of catching up every week to see what we've done.
Yeah.
We're coming up 55 minutes now. I think we're losing steam as well.
Yeah, I think we'll probably, what else did we have to talk about? In terms of school spirits and stuff.
I think we covered everything.
Did we?
Yeah, it's just waiting until the next episode, and then we'll do another episode 8 coverage, and then we'll move on to our next thing.
Yeah.
Is that going to be Stranger Things? I don't know, because
there was recently a leak for season 5, which was
yeah, maybe we can discuss that, and sort of that Stranger Things episode is going to be a long one. At least
we're gonna have to split it up.
Yeah, it's going to be I think at least 2 episodes, 2 or 3.
Yeah, because I think we'd actually have to write down what we need to talk about.
Yeah, talk about, because I think I'm gonna keep hyping it up. Like, it was probably one of the most like funnest things we've done in a while.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's also, and
it actually has a narrative, like, on how we went about it. It was
it's very funny and quite traumatizing for me, but we'll get to that later. But I think like one of the reasons why we wanted to do this was because now that we're in the gear up to the rollout of season 5, we can do one of these weekly. I guess they're releasing their batch of episodes at once.
Look, we might miss a week depending on going to university.
Yeah.
How workload and
no one's listening.
Yeah, let's be honest, no one's listening.
But on the rare occasion, we have a silent viewer. Hello.
Yeah. Let yourself be known. Please leave a comment on the YouTube, because now that we have a YouTube, you can actually leave a comment.
Mm-hmm. You can on Spotify as well.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if a lot of people do it. Let us know you're here.
Yes. So that at least, because if one person comments and says, "I love this, please keep going," who are we not to give the people what they want?
Exactly. Exactly. So
yeah, we've got it. And also, like, if you have a specific thing you want us to watch as well.
Yep, recommendations.
Yeah.
We will.
We love anything, I guess, sci-fi, mystery.
Oh, dude, we need to do a Studio Ghibli episode.
We do need to do that.
Because there was a time when we were just watching those. Mm-hmm. It was very fun.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get on that. And then obviously, because it's the rollout of Stranger Things 5, we'll definitely do... There's a lot of movies coming out this year.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming up this year.
Stranger Things, Percy Jackson Season 2.
Yeah.
Avatar 3.
Avatar, yeah.
I love Avatar.
Avatar's good, but
and then what else is there? What was the other thing that was releasing? There was like a big thing. Oh wait, no. I was gonna say How to Train Your Dragon.
Yuck.
Okay.
I should have left it.
Okay. But yeah, I think we'll definitely come back. For episode 8. I really don't know how they're going to end off this season. Hopefully it's with a bang.
Let's hope.
And hopefully they'll let us know if there's 10 episodes, because IMDb is saying 10.
If it's 10, that'll be more content for you guys.
Yeah.
On the School Spirits.
Also more content for us, because we love seeing the show.
More things to talk about before we have to tackle that Stranger Things behemoth.
Oh my god. Yeah.
All right. I think we'll sign off.
Yeah, let us know and leave a comment and all of the above and whatnot.
Okay, this is D signing off.
This is K signing off.
See ya.
Bye.